Thank you for showing up for FAFSA information. So Ann and I are going to go over just some info so you know what FAFSA is all about. So that's just how you're going to earn money for college. So it's a good thing, all right? So, okay, so what is the FAFSA and the WASFA? The FAFSA is your free application for federal student aid. Again, it says free in there. Don't ever pay. When you go on the website, if you do FAFSA.com, it is a company that paid to be listed first on a Google search, and they charge you $90 to do a free form. If I find out you did that, you're going to be in big trouble, all right? Come see me. We're doing the free form. WASFA is the Washington Application for State Financial Aid. That's the form that students use that aren't a legal resident of the state due to some kind of an immigration thing. So just know that you can still apply for financial aid as well. And then the big thing is financial need is determined by your cost of attendance, which are direct and indirect costs minus expected family contributions. So that's how they come up with cost of attendance. Your direct costs are like tuition, books, and then indirect are like supplies, room and board. If you're going to a four-year university, you're going to be living probably on a dorm and have their food plan. Those are considered indirect costs. And I should say, if you guys have any questions, please just interrupt me, okay? Because I just want to make sure you guys know what's going on. All right, so there's different types of student aid. There's grants and scholarships. That's money you don't have to pay back. Federal loans, there's subsidized, unsubsidized, and Parent Plus loans. You have to pay those back. If you have the option, you want the subsidized loans, because, thank you, Vanna, because on the subsidized loans, you don't have to start paying that back till 6 months after you graduate. So the feds pay your interest till you graduate. Unsubsidized loans, you start paying on them the minute you cash that check, all right? Parent Plus, that's a loan through your parents that they pay. Then there's tax credits, deductions, and federal work study. Those are other types of aid. Federal work study, that's where you get the opportunity to work on campus up to 19 hours a week. And generally it's $10 to $12 an hour, so it's a sweet deal if you're looking for a job. Then there's also tuition waivers. You can get discounted tuition, WUI if you're a veteran. WUI is the Western Undergraduate Exchange, and that's an agreement with the 13 Western states that you can go to an out-of-state school for in-state tuition. So I don't know if you guys have checked college prices, but if you're going to an out-of-state school, generally your tuition's about 3 times the price of in-state. So it's a big deal. So then I also want you to know the maximum that you can qualify for through your FAFSA this year. The Pell Grant is $59.20. The state need grant, depending if you go to a 2-year or 4-year, it's $36.20 or $6,090. And Washington has the largest state need grants of any state in the country, so you're really lucky you're Washington. Subsidized loans, you can borrow up to $12,500, or for the unsubsidized, $20,500. And you see they give you more on the unsubsidized because that way they can get more interest off you. So, word to the wise. Okay, because the FAFSA is a legal and binding electronic document, you need an electronic signature. So that's your FSA ID. And so if you guys remember, I came around last year, spring of junior year, to try to get these going. So you just need to make sure, the most important thing is do not transpose any numbers in your Social Security numbers, because if you do, they match everything with the Social Security Administration, and if we put that in wrong, it's going to mess everything up. So that's one thing that I say, be really careful when you put your social in.
And only create it one time.
Yes.
You only have to do this one time, and that's it. Right?
Well, the FSA ID,
right.
But you need to do the FAFSA every October you're going to be in college.
Yeah.
And you always do the FAFSA for the school year ahead using 2-year back tax info. And those are the different accounts that you're going to be accessing with your FSA ID. So to do your FAFSA, if you take out student loans, you can go in and check. It'll tell you your loan balance, what your interest rate, who your loan's through, and then again with student loans, and then my federal student aid is just a lot of resources for you. So any questions on that one?
And they can start while they're a junior.
Well, they can create their FSA ID. And I just like to do it junior year in the spring because that way you're all ready to go in October. Because once school starts, things just keep going and you just want to try to stay ahead of the game.
Well, and
At this time, the Lakeside
they
students
also
are
don't
released for their bus.
get more money.
Lakeside
The sooner you
The
apply,
sooner
the sooner you get it.
the more money, yeah.
They say the first day the FAFSA opens, which is October 1st, within the first 24 hours, 10 million kids apply. And it's a first come, first served basis, so the sooner you do it, the more money you're gonna get. So this is what the FSA ID site looks like, and it's real easy, and I'll help you through it. Okay, so this is what the FAFSA looks like. So you're gonna click on Start a New FAFSA, and then you log in with your FSA ID, the username and the password you created, okay? So if you're doing the WASFA, you don't do the FAFSA. So you either do one or the other. You don't do both, okay? So this is just information on that. And then if any of you qualify for this, just come see me afterwards and we'll figure it out, all right? Okay, so if any of you are college-bound scholars, that's agreement you did in 7th or 8th grade if you qualified for free or reduced lunch. What that entitles you to, as long as you graduate on time with a 2.0 minimum GPA with your class with no felonies, the state will pay your tuition to an in-state public school for up to 4 years. It's a really good deal. It can be worth over $38,000. So for example, if you're thinking of going to the community college, it's going to pay your tuition there for 2 years. And then if you decide to transfer to a 4-year, it'll pay your tuition for your next 2 years. So you won't have to pay any tuition. So it's a really good deal. But the biggest requirement of it is you have to complete the FAFSA. That's why I'm going to be hounding you college bounders so much. Because if you qualify for that scholarship, you don't want to throw that free money away. You have 5 years to use 4 years worth of tuition. So you can take a year off, but I don't recommend that because life gets in the way, and there you go. All right. So gentlemen, you have to register with the federal government when you turn 18. It is called selective service. And no, it is not a draft list. I'm old. In my day, there was a draft. There is no draft anymore, but they still want men to register with the government when you turn 18. I am a selective service registrar. But when you're doing the FAFSA, it's just so much easier to check you haven't registered, register me, and then they do it automatically for you. If you do not register with selective service, you do not get FAFSA.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a new thing?
No, it's always been that way.
Maybe it's because
Yeah.
I'm not a guy. Ha, ha, ha.
Okay, so all school websites have a financial aid net price calculator. What this is, you go in, fill out all the information, and it will tell you approximately what you're going to qualify for. So I just want you to be aware that's out there. If you have questions, come see me, I'll help you. Okay, here's some important dates to remember. This year, FAFSA opens October 1st. December 1st to February 15th are your priority deadlines to our Washington schools, okay? One thing is, you have to be on top of these deadlines. They just don't no wiggle room at all. If you miss the deadline, it's like, I'm so sorry. There's nothing you can do. So that's another reason why I'm always snagging you guys, okay? Then April 13th, if you're going to the community college, that's when the terms and conditions form is due. If you do not fill that in, that's going to affect your financial aid. You'll still get financial aid, but it may take longer to get it, and you may get less money. okay? And just know I'll come around and make sure that you guys get that done.
What happens after February 15th?
Well, that's the priority deadline. So if they don't meet the priority deadline, it just means you're gonna get less money. So, and I want you guys to get the most money that you qualify for. So that's why I'm always harassing you to get paperwork done. Okay, so some students may have to get what's called a tax transcript. And when you'll have to do that is for the financial aid office of the college you're going to. So here's the information to get it. You get it off the IRS website. Last year, the community college made all students that did not work or file taxes get a tax transcript that said you were a non-filer. I've been hearing that they've come up with a better solution this year, so just know as soon as I find out, I will let you know. But no matter what, we'll make sure all your paperwork gets done. Okay, so here's what I call the ABCs of financial aid. Apply. You don't know what you're going to qualify for till you apply. Budget. You got to make sure you're budgeting your money, because how it works, they give you your money quarterly. Most schools put it on like a debit card, and you have to budget that money for the quarter. A lot of you are going to be getting extra money that will pay more than books. So if you're smart, you'll put that money aside and not spend it, because books are so expensive. And when you start getting into your science and math classes, it's nothing for a book to cost $375 or more. So if you save some money, that's going to help you down the road, okay? But just please make sure you're using it to buy your books and not spending it on silly stuff, and then call me and say, oh my gosh, Deb, I don't have any money left for books, okay? So then C, communicate. And I can't stress that enough. If you have a question about something, come see me, we can figure it out. Or you need to be checking your emails from the college, because they're going to be sending you emails requesting information. And how it works is if you don't respond generally within 2 weeks, you go to the bottom of the pile. So you want to make sure all your paperwork's taken care of, so you don't have to worry about money on top of everything else you got to do. Okay? And like it says up there, I am happy to help you with any paperwork. All right? And I'm sure Ann would be the same. Okay, so here's just a sheet that I put in the financial aid packet about budgeting. And then just some websites that are helpful. So thanks so much. I real quick want just to go over, review the packet. So this is just a place for you to keep your information. Because you only do this once a year, it's really easy to forget stuff. And you can't recreate, because there's only one you. So the first sheet is your financial aid ID information. The next page is the information we need from you and parent. The next page is if you're doing WASFA. Then the next page is if you need to get a tax transcript. Then the next 2 pages are college-bound scholarship info and the schools in state that accept it. And there's like 64 schools, so you have a really good selection. Yes. Then the next 2 pages are the application and financial aid deadlines, priority deadlines for all the schools. And it also gives you the SAT and ACT codes for the schools if you have to send them your scores. Okay? Then that next page is the FAFSA IDs for the most frequently used colleges in our area. If you're not sure, there is a search on there you can do. Then the next couple pages are, if you're going to the community college, it tells you how to take care of your placement testing. And then for community college, you can use your GPA, your Smarter Balance scores, SAT or ACT scores. And if you don't qualify through those, you can do placement testing. Then the next couple pages are on financial planning. Then I put in the 2 programs through SCC, the Skilled Trade Preparation and Applied Manufacturing. And then just because we're talking so much colleges, I also wanted to include military information, and that's just the recruiters that work with our schools. So again, thank you so much for coming today, and remember, if you need any help with any of this, I'm always here. Even after you graduate, you can always come back to see us, and we always like to hear how you're doing, so keep in touch. All right, thanks. Oh, I'm sorry, Ann, did you have anything you wanted to add? It's all good?
Yep, y'all can
Cool.
come see me too.
All right, thank you.